So over here, we're up to his Gimel. Over here, we discussed that there's the idea of a derech. A derech connects the capital, the city of the king. It connects it together with even a faraway corner. The Rebbe is going to say that this is in the Maimer. It explains this is actually what Torah and mitzvahs does. Torah and mitzvahs connect the great highest level of Havaya, the Derech Havaya, which is Tif'eres of Ein Sof, with the lowest level. That when the Yid learns Torah, you're taking the highest level of the Chochmah of Ein Sof, and you're grasping it with your Seichel, so that you understanding that's a connection between the highest level and the lowest level. And that's the derech. But there's also the derech going back. That's mitzvahs. The Amshacha is Torah, and the return, he explains in the Maimer over there, is mitzvahs. Because when we do mitzvahs, we are refined and we sort of go milmata l'mayla. Let's look inside. Gimel. Val pize mevair bal yoim ha'hiledes b'dibur ha'maschil zochranal. Based on this, as we explained, the idea of derech. So the Rebbe Rashab, the bal yoim ha'hiledes, explains in that maimer zocher ze shahatoiro mitzvahs nikro derech havaya. This that we say that Torah mitzvahs are the derech havaya. The pasuk says v'shamru derech havaya. The derech havaya, the road for havaya, is Torah mitzvahs. Ki inyan Torah mitzvahs hu. What is the idea of Torah and mitzvahs? Huli istakno li takono rozo dishmei, is to fix the secret of his name. The Eibishter's name, which is a secret, which is above. To fix it means to bring down. Torah mitzvahs is to fix. It means to bring down the secret of his name. The derech havaya is to reveal the path of bringing down havaya, which is hamshochas chinas shmoi hagodol. That is to draw down his big name, the name of Hashem, which is the Shem Havaya. What's the big name? That's the name of Havaya. So liistakono rozo dishmei, the name, his big name, the Shem Havaya. What does it mean to be mamshich? Where are we mamshich? Shehu hagilui da'atzmus oir ein sof. That is the revelation of the essence of the Ein Sof. This is Bechinas Tiferes Hanelam. The hidden, the obscure level of Tiferes Shalemailo Mibechinas Malchus de Ein Sof, which is higher than the level of Malchus de Ein Sof. This Shmei, Rozo de Shmei, Derech Havaya, reveals from the level of Tiferes Hanelam, which is a very high level. Tiferes Hanelam is higher than the Malchus de Ein Sof. And that is to reveal that level, that high level. Veloche Nikra Derech Havaya. That's why that's the Derech for Hashem. In order to get the Shmoi HaGodel, the Shem Havaya, to be revealed, we have a derech, we have Torah mitzvahs, which are the road through which the Shem Havaya, the Tiferes Hanelem, comes down. Haderachim, those are the roads. Torah mitzvahs, shal yodom nimshach be'olam hagilui, the Shem Havaya Shmei HaGodel, which through them, through the road, it is drawn down, it extends to the world, the revelation of Shem Havaya Shmei HaGodel. That's the road. The road is to take the Tiferes Hanelam in the highest of levels and to bring it down in the world in a revealed way. That is Lisakon Rosh Deshmei. So what happens when we bring down this level? When we do it is Nishlema HaKavone the Dira B'Tachtoinim. That fulfills the purpose, Hashem's intent of having a dwelling place in this world. To bring about the secret, the Ein Sof, to bring about the Tiferes Hanelam, to reveal that completes the intent of Dira B'Tachtoinim. Hagilui the Atzmus Ein Sof, that is the revelation of the essence of the Ein Sof. And it's Atzmus Ein Sof Shalamaylo Mibchinas Seva Mamali. That is a higher level than Seva Mamali. To take this highest of level and to bring it down Lamata B'Tachtoinim, below, in the lower, and not just Tamlo, B'Tachtin She'ein Tachtin Lamata Mimenu. In such a low level, but there is nothing lower. That's the road that brings Atzmus Ein Sof, which is higher than Seva and Memale, into the lowest extreme, that there is nothing else lower. Over here in the lowest place, we bring down this level of Atzmus, and that's the Derech. And how do we do that? Through the Derech of Torah mitzvahs, to bring down the Gila of Atzmus into the world. Now, he gives here an explanation, another word over here that the Rebbe explains. Over there he says, when we bring down Hashem and we make it his place, make a Dira B'Tachtoinim, Hashem is fully over there. Hashem is fully. And he says, he gives a mashal, like a person who is a guest in somebody else's house. So he lives there fully, just like he lives in his own house. So coming and the Dira, the Eibishter's Dira, B'Tachtoinim, is that the Eibishter is coming down in these Tachtoinim, and the Eibishter is fully there, like a person who lives in a house fully. The Rebbe explains why is the Rebbe Rashab in the Maimer saying that you're in somebody else's house and you are there fully. Why doesn't the Rebbe Rashab say that it's the Eibishter's house? Why does it have to be that the Eibishter comes down so it becomes his house? And the Rebbe explains that we're trying to say here that it reaches so far, even though the house is Tachtoinim, it remains Tachtoinim. It's not the pshat that because the Eibishter comes down, so they're no longer Tachtoinim, so now they're Elyonim, or now they've been refined. No, being Tachtoinim, being in the lowest level, the Eibishter is Mizgal over there. Let's look inside. Shom explains there the Inyan Dira B'Tachtoinim Hu. What is the idea of Dira B'Tachtoinim? Is Kemoshul Odom Hador Bebeis Chabere. That is like an example of a person who lives in his friend's house. So even though it's your friend's house, you're still fully there. Shekol atzmosei, his entire essence. Just like he lives in his own house, he also lives likewise in his friend's house. The Rebbe explains why is the Rebbe Rashab and the Maimer emphasizing that the Eibishter is in somebody else's house. Why not his own house? Yeshloima. So we can say Shahakavon Nebehamoshel. The Odom Hador Beveis Chavere. What is the intent of the Rebbe Rashab by giving the moshel? An example, like a person who lives in his friend's home, who levayed is to explain that the inyan dira betachtonim hu, that this concept of making the dwelling place for atzmus in the lower level, huloi be'oifon, it's not in such a way shemitzad hagilui de'oire in sof be'hatachten, that because there is a revelation of the Ein Sof in the lower level, so that makes by him a refinement and elevation, so that he's no longer at the Tachten. But Shem is battle that his fact that he's a Tachten is negated. It's this battle because of the powerful level of the Hisgalus that comes from the Dira of Atzmos. He's no longer a Tachten. So he tells you, no, it's not that the Tachten doesn't exist anymore. But the idea is here, Ki'im, but what are we talking about? Shegam le'achrei hagilui hu nishar Tachten. Even after the revelation, he remains a Tachten. The Afal Pikein Nimshach boy hagilui the atzmus eirin sof, and still in him extends the revelation of atzmus eirin sof. Being a tachten, in the tachten we have the atzmus eirin sof, because this is the idea of the moshul. The zehu toichan hamoshul, the odom hador beveis chavere. This is the idea, the content. What is the moshul? Your person, you're living in your friend's home, which means you didn't take over the home of your friend. He's still the owner. You're just a guest over there. Yes, you live there with your atzmus, but who's the owner? The other one. So it's a tachten. Shagam la'achrei shehu dorsham. Even after the guest lives there, hu beis chavere. It's his home. It's a house of a friend. The afal pikein, and still hudor shom b'chol atzmusay k'moshu hudor b'beisay. He lives there with all of his essence as he lives in his home, but it's not his home. The tachten remains a tachten, but it becomes the place where atzmus reveals itself and becomes a dwelling place for atzmus. So then, so the Maimon further explains, a road is only considered a road if you could return. If you can only get there and not get back, that's not a full road. In this context over here, that when the Hamshoche comes down, cannot just be one way, it has to be both ways. It has to go the other direction as well. And the elevation becomes through the Torah and mitzvahs. Dalet. V'hine, la'acharei zeh mamshich b'hamaimer. Divrei hamasku. Zohar, now he continues in that maimer, Zohar, The K'moy Shaderech Kipshutei Mishamish. Lo yirak la'alicho elo gam l'chazoro, just like a road, on the literal sense, a road you travel on. It serves lo yirak, not just to go, but also to return. Al derech zeh hu gam b'derech havaya. Similarly, is the road of Havaya. The amitis inyonehu, the true idea of the derech havaya, shu ba'oifun kazeh, that it's in such a way, shal yodei nase lo yirak hamshocha milmaylo lemato. Not only does it bring it down from above to below, inyan halicha, which is the going, the one direction from the above to below, elogam halos hatachten, but also to elevate the tachten, sheyiyeh keli lahamshocha, that it should be a keli lahamshocha. So here we're saying that the hamshocha makes a refinement in the level that there should be halos hatachna be keli lahamshocha. Now the Rebbe makes a note over here, note 28. So if it becomes a keli lahamshocha, so then it turns out that he's no longer a tachten. So why did we call it a beis chavere? The Rebbe explains that it remains a tachten, but because the atzmus, which is higher than tachten and elyon, it means it didn't lose the tachten. The Rebbe, it's a harder there. We'll leave this for another time. But the point the Rebbe points out over here, it still remains a tachten, even though it's refinement, because the refinement is connected to atzmus, which is higher than tachten and elyon, and therefore it doesn't negate being a tachten, as it's explained in the order. Okay, so now we have two directional, a bi-directional, milmaila lamata, milmata lamaila. Milmaila lamata, the Rebbe is going to explain that's Torah. Torah brings the Hamshocha, milmaila lamata. We take the wisdom of the Eibishter and we bring it down into the Moyach, into lamata, into the person's understanding. That's from the top to the bottom. The mitzvahs are the back direction, milmata lamaila. Ushnei inyonim elu. And these two ideas of going from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, which is hamshocha milmaylo v'halos hamata, bringing down from above and elevating the mata, nasim al yidei limud haTorah v'kiyum hamitzvos. They take place through the two aspects: study of Torah, learning Torah, and the observance of mitzvahs. How does it split up? Al yidei limud haTorah, through the study of Torah, naaseh hahamshocha da'atzmus oirin sof, that brings about, extends the essence of the oirin sof. That's Torah brings down. Why? The chochma, the Torah, he mibchinas chochma da'atzmus ein sof. Because the wisdom of Torah that the person studies, that comes from the level of Chokhmah, of the essence of the Ein Sof. And you bring that down, b'seichel ha'odom, to the human intellect, a human intellect which is a seichel anushi shemelubesh b'moyach gashmi. This is a human intellect which is dressed up in a physical brain. So you're taking the chokhmah of atzmus ein sof, you're bringing it down into the intellect of a physical brain. That's any study. Ubefrat. Sometimes you study intently, very strongly. You work hard. You rack your brain. You work in biyigia ubefrat. Kishaloimed Heitef, when you learn well, the iyun sichloi, intensely looking into it with your intellect. Sha'oz, then that seichel which comes from Atzmus, he misachedes imoi, it unites with the person, it fuses with him, beichud nifla, in a wondrous connection. She'ein yichud kamoihu, there is no such a yichud as this yichud of the intellect understanding the var seichel and var Torah, as the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, that the seichel encompasses the idea, and the idea surrounds the seichel, and this is a union on all sides, which there is no such a union at all, only in the understanding of Torah, in when the person learns it in such a way. So you're having the Atzmus Ein Sof connect in such a wonderful, not just a connection, the Ad Shenikras Al Shemoi, to the extent that the Torah is called his Torah. It's connected with him, it becomes his. So that's the Milmailo Lamato, that's the derech from the top to the bottom, that's Limud Torah. And then you have Birur V'Haloas HaTachten, the sorting out and the elevation of the lower Nase Al Yidei Maisa HaMitzvahs, refinement and the elevation that takes place through the act of mitzvahs. Now, Maisa mitzvahs means practical, doing mitzvahs. Maisa, the act of mitzvahs. But the word Maisa also has a connotation, a meaning. You force yourself to do the mitzvah. Ma'asin al hatzdaka. That ma'asin means that you push yourself. Especially the elevation comes when you struggle to elevate yourself and become higher by doing the mitzvahs. This is amas befrat, especially not just doing the mitzvahs, kishemaisa ha-mitzvahs hu be'oifon dihiskafia, when the act of mitzvahs is in a way of pushing yourself. Maisa meloshen kefia. The word maisa mitzvahs, maisa from the language of forcing yourself. You push yourself to do it. In other words, you have challenges and you have struggles, but you force yourself to do it. So, this is the two aspects of the pasuk. B'shamru derech havaya v'zo lasos tzedakah. Shamru derech havaya, they'll keep the derech havaya milmayla lemato, Torah lasos tzedakah and mitzvahs. The amitis inyan haderech, the true idea of the road, shemishamesh loy rak lahalicha, that it serves not just to go, which is hamshocha milmailo, that to come down, to draw down from above, elogam lechazora, it serves also for a return. Birur vehaloas hatachten, to sort out and to elevate the lower level. That's the birur v'aloas hatachten. Who? So this is shenoi sef lelimud haTorah. Besides learning Torah, the derech havaya yesh gam asiyas tzedakah. You're also doing tzedakah. Doing tzedakah, this is one mitzvah of tzedakah, but really all the mitzvahs are called tzedakah, meaning doing mitzvahs. The chol ha-mitzvahs nikra b'shem tzedakah. So last is tzedakah, to do mitzvahs, to do tzedakah, and to do all mitzvahs, because all mitzvahs are really called tzedakah. Now, the pasuk says last is tzedakah umishpat. A very interesting, profound idea that the tzedakah has to be in a way of mishpat, which means the person needs to judge themselves what they need, and everything else goes for tzedakah. It's lasses tzedakah, but to do the tzedakah umishpat, with judgment. Umoisiv tzedakah umishpat, the pasuk says to do tzedakah umishpat, the asiyas tzedakah, that when you do tzedakah, and in both levels, first of all, tzedakah kipshuta, talking, giving charity or doing tzedakah, tzarich liyes b'mishpat, needs to be with justice, which is judgment. Sheyishpeit es atzmoi mehamoisris, he should judge himself about the extras. V'yachshev heitev, and he should think well, think good. Ma shehu muchrach lenafshei, what he needs, what he really needs for himself. V'chol hashar yitein l'tzedakah, the rest give for tzedakah. Used to be a guy in Crown Heights, his name was Shimshon Stock. He used to go collecting for Simchas, Shabbos, and Yom Tov. So he used to tell everybody, he used to say, take yourself, because everybody gives him $1. He says, no, take the $1 and give me the rest. So he says, Lase tzedakah mishpat, to do the tzedakah mishpat. You make a mishpat of what is extras that you don't really need. Take only what you need, and the rest give for tzedakah. So this is tzedakah literally, but the same thing is through all mitzvahs. Shenikroim b'shem tzedakah kenal, which are called tzedakah. I said before, all mitzvahs are called tzedakah. Shekiyumam tzorich lasis ba'ofen the mishpat. You have to judge yourself to the extent to do the most that you could do in the mitzvahs that you're doing, in the tzedakah and the mitzvahs that you're doing. So, and then we have a third part here. So tzedakah mishpat, but the pasuk says lasos tzedakah mishpat. What is it? Lasos tzedakah, lasos to do. Umoisiv lasos tzedakah mishpat. Shagam zeh shehatzedakah ba'ofen the mishpat. Even this, that the tzedakah that you're giving is in a way of a mishpat, so it's already judgment. Ein maspik adayin. That's not enough. It has to be lasis. V'tzorich liyes ba'ofen the iskafi. That also has to be in a way that you subdue yourself. Ma'aseh meloshen kefiyah. Ma'aseh from the language of forcing yourself. So when you do the mitzvahs, tzedakah, mishpat, and lasis, through this nase bitter v'halos hatachton, that is the way back. That's milmata l'maylo. There is a sorting out, and there's an elevation of the lower level. Shenase keli la'yilu shalamaylo. It becomes a vessel to the revelation of above. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Okay.